Welcome to the Miracles and Millions Show. This is your go-to show for living a life of miracles, where we're taking the limits off what you believe is possible. It's time to play big, be bold, and shine bright. I'm your host, Michelle Humphrey. Hello, and welcome to another episode. Again, so happy to be your host. My name is Michelle Humphrey. And thank you. I'm getting so much positive feedback of people listening to the shows and starting to ask questions. And we're just starting to really get the Facebook group launched. And remember, this is the podcast that we love to continue the conversation after the shows and share miracles. And for today's show, what I want to talk about is miracles. And people are asking me like, well, what is a miracle? And, what is considered to be a miracle? Or is this something that you want to hear about? So let's go through that. Let's even talk about why part of the show title has miracles in it. Miracles and Millions. My goodness, I'm a huge fan of miracles. And let me tell you, it didn't start off that way. I mean, I can black and white share the first 33 years of my life. I never used the word miracle. I did not live a life of miracles. I truly was not even sure what a miracle was, other than, oh my gosh, someone was, brought back from the dead. I mean, that's what I kind of thought a miracle was. It had to be something that extreme and that profound. But here, let's kind of go through some basics of understanding that a miracle is simply a shift in perception. And miracles occur all the time when we see things through new eyes. And you can phrase that as seeing it through spirit's eyes versus ego's, or seeing it from your higher self's perspective versus your lower self, or from your God self versus that human self, if you will. Shifting your perceptions in ways that have you see events, see opportunities through new eyes is truly a shift in perception. So something that started off many years ago for me was believing money was hard to make. I mean, I grew up in a family where they kind of proved that one pretty good, right? Did not do very well with money. And here's what I've learned, that was a perception. That's what I was raised in, that money looked like it was hard to make. I came into a family that had a hard time making a lot of money, and it made it look like it really was hard, but it wasn't through spirit's eyes. It was through ego's, which is that, if you will, lower self. That's that human brain that makes up meanings based on current circumstances or life experiences, but it's not necessarily based in truth. Whereas when I shifted my perception and I opened up because I loved this idea, inside of me it was, well, suppose money was easy to make, and suppose money could be fun, and it could be rewarding, and it could be fulfilling, and I could feel inside of me that I would like that to be true. I mean, short term, it didn't feel like it was. But as I opened up to that, if you will, and got out of my head and went up into what I'll call, that spirit energy, that higher self, really, truthfully, my language is asking God to show me a different way, then I realized, oh my goodness, above my limitations and my perceptions about money, there was at least other people on this planet making money joyously, making money and making a lot of it. And I thought, oh my goodness, this isn't just a universal truth of the world that money is hard to make. And I opened up myself to meet mentors and coaches who were making a lot of money and making it joyously, and really go on to have the money to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And I've retrained my mind to allow, which is the key word here. You want to allow a different perspective. You want to allow yourself to open up to a different way of doing it if what you're doing doesn't feel good. So that miracle simply comes from, we're going to look for a different way. We're going to consciously, deliberately shift our perception to find another way. And the miracles happened, many, many miracles. With money, once I shifted my perception, and now, gosh, I mean, money comes to me from all different sources. Money is fun. Money is a source of joy and fulfillment. And I've had to clean up many, many things in my life about money. I've had to shift my perception to become a great steward of money and to feel that, gosh, I said it before, but I'll say it again, that I have the money to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And I've added things that, my goodness, everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I do prospers and succeeds, right? For every dollar that I spend, at least 2, often 3, and many times 10x or more is returned back to me, right? That when I think about money, there's a flow, there's an ease about it, there's an abundance about it. I feel rich, I feel wealthy, I feel abundant and prosperous, and all the things I would suspect you would like to feel about money. And because of that, it's changed my relationship with money. So again, we're looking to change that perspective, which creates a new relationship, which creates a new reality. And I really want you to get that miracles are a natural occurrence. They're expressions of love. There's this alignment of what's deep inside of your heart. I've been a business coach now for 20 years. And here's what I can assure you. No one has ever come to me and said, Michelle, help me to feel bad. Help me to be stressed. Help me to be overwhelmed or not have enough money. No one. Why is that? Because you're not wired to feel bad. You're not wired to live in lack and limitation and sacrifice. You've got to go deep inside of your heart and really tune in to what you want, those expressions of love, those heart's desires. If you go back and you look at the original Latin definition of the word desire, it means of sire, of father, really of God. And what's deep inside of your heart, I'm here to tell you, you're meant to have it. Look at what's deep inside of your heart, and it's stamped yes. And if you will, God's already approved it. So as you feel that, oh, what is it inside of your heart that you really want? My language is what lights you up. That means you're meant to have it. It's already approved. It's already been granted. Stamped yes. Your prayer is already answered. Your prayer is thank you, amen. And you've got to allow that, to tune in, to say, okay, in this case, we're talking, more about money, it seems like. So let's keep that train going, that you want the money to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right? Feel that and allow that, and make sure now that you're not getting your head, as you'll hear me say, your little pea brain in the way, because your head will go back to your history. Your head can go back and say, oh my goodness, like that's not been my reality. Yeah, I understand that. For many, many years, no money and being broke was my reality too. But again, was it what's deep inside of my heart? Was it what I really wanted? Absolutely not. And the shift in perceptions, this tuning into what's deep inside of your heart, is what allows yourself to say, oh, wait a second. I have something different in my heart than what my head is telling me. And we're going to shift my head to get out of my own way, to not look at it from my little, again, pea brain, ego's point of view, but to come up and look at it from spirit, from God's, your higher self's perspective. That's what's going to cause these shifts in miracles. And when they're not occurring in your life, these miracles are not occurring, we feel stuck, we feel blocked, we feel tension and turmoil and lack and limitation. And it's not the way that we are meant to live at all, right? Go back to, just some of the basics of even what I put here is why I created the Miracles in Millions is I get it, guys. I didn't grow up living this way. It was in my 30s, mid 30s actually, where like my life just exploded into goodness, is because I started living by this simple quote. It's Albert Einstein's, right? There's just 2 ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle, and the other is though everything is a miracle. Everything here is a miracle. Everything here is meant to be shifted from ego's perception into spirit's perception, from that lower self's perspective into your higher self's perspectives. Miracles heal all the fears, the insecurities, the doubts, the feelings of separation or guilt or worry or anger or overwhelm. They always, when you shift into a miracle, you're filled with love, you're filled with abundance, you're filled with joy, you're filled with peace and happiness and health, right? It's all good. Think of it as black and white. When you're not focusing on the miracle, some people will call them the blessings, you don't feel good. right? You're labeling things as awful or overwhelming or bad or not good enough, or you're seeing yourself through ego's eyes. No, let's shift it into what is great about this? How is this here to bless me? What is a different perspective that I can see it through God's eyes, ego's eyes? What's the lesson it's looking to give me? There's always a way to shift the way that you are focusing on it. And here's what I want to share. For sure, every day your life can be filled with these miracles, these shifts of perception. I run a miracle share, and I've run them for, my goodness, I started what year? Back in 2000, I started to attend a miracle share. I found one through the author of the book, Effortless Prosperity. His name is Bijan, and he ran one out in Vegas. So when I traveled out to Vegas, I always attended them. And then, of course, living in New York, that was quite inconvenient, to say the least. So I started doing stuff every Sunday night on the phone and gathering communities of people. And then I think it was probably, 6-8 months or so into it, we had a couple people raise their hand and like, you know what, let's do this in person. So for many years, and thank you, Donna Visco, for hosting them at your home every Sunday for years, we did live miracle shares. And that actually went so spectacular. I used to look forward to them every single Sunday. And then my husband and I moved to California in 2002. And I started hosting miracle shares out here and did that for a number of years as well. And it's played now between the phone. We sometimes do it. What's really taken root is Mondays now, and we do typed out Miracle Mondays. And I'm just starting to roll all of those over into a Facebook group that we just started. So the Miracles and Millions Facebook group, you can share miracles and we can create a platform. And now there's a book in the works that's going to be just all filled with miracles. And again, these are shifts of perception. It could be, I was so annoyed and bothered with my sister, and then I closed my eyes. I asked to see, her point of view. I went up, I connected with my higher self. I got out of my head. I got out of my own way. And I realized I felt compassion. I felt, you know what? I don't want to feel angry. And I shifted my perception. I picked up the phone and I told her how much I loved her, and let's start fresh. That's a miracle, right? You're focusing on creating more abundance, and you take some time each day to hold as simple as change in your hand, meaning pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, and you're focusing on it, and your brain goes from like, oh my God, this is a dime, it's a nickel, it's a quarter, it's a penny, and you're all like grunty about it. And you're like, no, you know what? I'm going to feel grateful. And then your brain starts adding a zero, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 5 zeros, 10 zeros, right? And all of a sudden you're holding in your mind from an energetic point of view $10,000 or maybe $100,000, and you start to feel the gratitude for the abundance. That's a miracle. That's a shift in your perception. That's going to open you up to live in alignment with these universal laws that work in accordance to your vibration. This is a world of belief systems, and whatever you choose to believe, you make real. So if you believe money is hard to make and you'll never have enough, and hey, it's only for a select few people, you will create that to be your reality. But let's shift your perception. Let's wake up to the miracle that, you know what, money is all around you. Money, truth be told, is easy to make. It's joyous to make. It's fulfilling. And when you create inside of you that you are wealthy, you are abundant, you are rich, you are prosperous, you feel that, you connect with that on a consistent, even daily basis, you start to put this miracle in motion. You start to open up ways to attract money that are so often unexpected sources. Yeah, a lot of times we can create money from expected sources, but it's really fun, I got to tell you this, to open up and to receive money from unexpected sources as well. Shift your perceptions. Whether it's with money, you could do this with your health, right? If you want health, you got to focus on and become health first. That is what draws health in. If you want love, focus on becoming love, sharing love, being love. That's what draws it in. You want great friends? Be a great friend. Do you want more money, right? Do you really want money? Money is that means to an end. No, it's because you want that freedom. You want to feel wealthy, that again, you have the money to do what you want to do when you want to do it, right? You've got to be wealthy. You've got to be rich. You've got to feel prosperous and abundant. That's what draws in more money, the gratitude for what you have already. So whatever it is, if you have enough money and you're paying the bills, feel like you're grateful that you can pay the bills. And this is just the beginning. And everything that you're making, that you can at least double it. Attempt to allow yourself right now to feel whatever amount of money that you have and that you're receiving, to double it. What's that feeling? If you had twice as much money coming in, feel that. And don't let your head get in there like it's twice as hard. That's so not a true statement. Most people have it linked up on this planet. The harder you work, the more money you make. And I'm here to tell you, let's disconnect them. It's not about working harder. It's about literally allowing yourself to feel the wealth, to feel the abundance, to feel the prosperity, the riches, all the feel-good feelings. And often the fastest way to create more abundance is to bring more value, to feel so good about what you're doing, that you're putting greatness out there into the world, whether that's through a product or service or your vibration. The great thing about this work, raising your vibration, raising that what's called your level of consciousness, getting out of the lack, the limitations, the sacrifices, the energies that don't feel good, shifting up, seeing the miracles, is what's called raising your consciousness. You raise your vibration. And I'm here to say, it benefits everyone. It truly is. As the water rises, all the boats go up. One person living in just a consciousness of love, which is so beautiful to see everything through the eyes of love. This is the work of Dr. David Hawkins. If you don't know his work, look him up. He has something called the Map of Consciousness, and I'm a huge fan of his work. One person living at the level of 500, again, which is the level of love, it helps to counterbalance the energies of 750,000 people living in lower vibrations, living under what he calls the level of 200, which is courage. It helps to counterbalance 750,000 people. I was listening to something not that long ago through Abraham Hicks. Some of you probably know her. If you're attracted to this podcast, who she really is, beautiful soul on this planet. But here's what she said. There's only about 5% of the population right now that are truly believing that they are the creators of their world, that they are consciously seeking the good, seeking to feel good and find ways and real techniques and tools. And this podcast, right, to help you to feel better. That's 5%. Guys, that's only 5 people out of every 100. That's so small of a number. And if you're listening to this, you're one of them. Your feelings matter. And what you're feeling matters because, simple as this, and I say it all the time, the better you feel, the better your life works. And you are responsible. You have got to find ways to shift your perceptions. And I call them miracles. Shift your perception, celebrate the miracles, celebrate the progress. Old you, where you used to be, and where you used to live, and what you used to complain about and worry about and feel overwhelmed about, no way. New you, not doing it. That's a miracle in itself. Look at your progress. Look at your growth. So this is a little reminder that to constantly shift your perception. Shift, look for, become, and notice miracles all around you because they're happening every single time you shift your perception. You create a miracle. And notice that, journal about it, celebrate it. Come to our Facebook group and post it. Cannot wait to hear what your miracle is. Because you know what? I want you to hear this. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. You get to create a positive impact on this planet. And you will as you keep learning to shift your perceptions. All pain is caused in your brain. It's caused by your perceptions, what you're doing, the meanings that you've put on it. You deserve a life that is so filled with miracles. I'll end on this. It's so huge of what has shifted my whole life. Again, what Albert Einstein said. There's just 2 ways that you can live your life. 1 is though nothing is a miracle, and 2, as though everything is a miracle. Look for how everything is a miracle on this planet. And I look forward to hearing about them. Let's continue the conversation in the Facebook group. Talk soon. Be a part of the conversation on Facebook and become a Miracles and Millions manifester at michellehumphrey.com/connect. Let's play together, because living miracle-minded is the gift you give yourself that has a massive impact on others and paves the way to make you millions. Your time is now.